Oh, boys, we got a good one today. You want to know why? You want to know why I have a good one today? You're going to get a real glimpse into my process. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a full chest day. A full chest day, top to bottom. You guys are going to get all of it. This is something you guys have been asking me for a while, and I'm like, I don't want to do too much, and I want to make sure I want to give you guys enough information you can take and run with. Screw that. That's the beauty of YouTube. I can just hang out with you guys for an extended period of time. All right. So there's not going to be as much talking. Everything you're going to hear from me, this is going to be a very, very accurate glimpse into my process. If you clicked here from the thumbnail, that is actually my chest. Okay. We're looking absolutely diesel out here. Okay. But real talk, man, my chest genetics were absolutely garbage. And so this framework and this formula that I kind of give, you know, like I'll do this formula, it's all the same formula, but like I'll do plug and plays depending on what exact muscle we go with. But you're going to see my entire process top to bottom. And I'm actually very, very excited because we're going to hang out. You guys are going to see some beautiful reps. You're going to see what I'm kind of doing. I'll talk through it out loud. And that way you guys have an idea of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's almost giving you a glimpse into my process, a lot of the things that go inside my head that has just become autopilot. Or now you guys are going to have a real glimpse into that process because I'm going to talk it through out loud. The whole video isn't going to be talking to you and talking shit or whatever. If I feel like yapping, I'm going to yap. If I don't feel like yapping, I'm not going to yap. But you guys are going to have a good idea of what I look like inside the gym. I'm going to put it in the headphones. We'll go crazy. Let's have a good time. This is going to be a really, really fun video. And I'm telling you right now, if this video does great, we'll just start running these more often. You know what I mean? And even then, I'll show you guys how I'd work out, you know, like with not that much equipment and the back days. I'm not taking it with me inside the gym. You guys, we got to go one step at a time. All right, we're not going to go full-fledged, but let's get into the chest day because I'm going to be smashing the hell out of this lift. And honestly, I'm absolutely pumped for it. It's game time, boys. One thing I do personally is I like to start with lighter weight. I like warming up with very, very light weight and just kind of feeling it out. Oh my God, the stupid microphone. See, that wouldn't happen if I, had my regular chest day, but we'll put it up here. And all I'm doing right now is just, I want to feel out the muscles. My muscles feel super creaky, man. Really creaky, but I've also been doing a ridiculous amount of work. No cap, yesterday I was on my laptop for 16 hours straight. You're probably thinking, dude, that's not right. What the hell's wrong with you? I was actually putting together programs that I want to have ready for you guys as well. And it's just guides into everything specifically. And that way I can give you guys a really, really long, extended explanation of everything and how I think of everything and all the little details associated. But anyways, all I'm doing, I found it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get it, dude. That feels good. Not gonna lie, my elbows in the very, very beginning were feeling a little bit like we ain't feeling this today, but the muscles are feeling absolutely locked. They feel good. And I kind of like it because you're almost warming up, and that's why I do it this way. We'll probably do, because I'm not doing dumbbells, and the reason I'm not doing dumbbells is because I don't have heavy enough dumbbells to start off, with strength lifting. So essentially, really all it is I have to kind of take what I've been given and essentially just kind of feel out this process. Feels good. And so all I'm doing is going to work up probably to like a 3 to 4 rep max type of thing. And then you guys will kind of see. Because the very, very first portion of my lift is geared towards strength. So that is my priority on this. Maybe one more warm up. And then we'll gauge from there. And what I also love is the sound. I mean, that's just butter. But I work up to 3 to 4 rep max. And that's because my goal is strength on the very, very first portion of my lifts. And then that way, I'm set up for the next portion. So I have 3 phases to my lifting days, essentially, which is strength being the number one thing. Moment I decide, it's time to go catch a beautiful training session. It's absolutely game time to take advantage of that by lifting for strength. So I'll do that, and you'll see how I kind of taper down to then get into the muscle growth portion of the lift, which is after my strength. But I have to kind of feel this out and figure out what I'm all about. I know what some of you guys are thinking, those of you that been around this page, why haven't you taken off the pump cover? First off, it's a different type of video, okay? So slow down a little bit, okay? You're getting a real accurate glimpse. I basically work out in full clothing typically. And then as the lift goes on, we just start shedding off articles of clothing. Okay. Bang, bang. All right, we're going to go for it now. And you guys are probably thinking, dude, how much weight is this? Well, these are 25-pound plates. I have no idea how much the bar is. I'm assuming 25 pounds would be my guess. So 25, 75, 75, 40, 115, quick math, easy as. So that'll be 255, something like that. Oh, I could definitely do way more than that. But what I like about this is this barbell is bent, as you can see, off years of abuse. I mean, this thing has taken an absolute beating over the years. And so it's like a naturally induced, I mean, dude, I am the natural Crusader, as you guys know, and we do everything all natty. It's the beauty of my process. So the only way I thought we could take it up a notch is by having a naturally enhanced cambered bar. Nobody has this bar except for the special few. Unless you have years of abuse delivered to this bar, you're not going to have one. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy one from the store, the cambered bar per normal. But I like about it, it's almost like a cambered bar, which is actually way more difficult to then hit presses. So by the time I enter commercial gyms, dude, forget about it, man. Forget about it. It's absolutely phenomenal because like I'm lifting weight at the commercial gym that feels like butter, and it's because they have straight bars there, not cambered ones. So sometimes I come down here, I'm like, dude, I feel so weak. But then you forget, like, that little hove does make a difference, but it also makes the chest pumps ridiculous. I get my best chest pumps down here by far. I think it's time to show you guys a different angle. Maybe we do one set right here, but let me get some music on because we want to make it happen. And I got to lock it in. Game time, boy! And I'll honestly use the, what's it called? I'll use this little thing to then help me get the bar up because it's a little bit difficult to do. Come on. That feels all right. That feels all right. That feels all right. That feels all right. Feels okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but it feels like I probably could have gone a little bit more. I hate that I didn't have a spotter with the barbell, but it is what it is. We'll go into the next set actually. Let's go to the next set. I'm gonna give you guys a different angle. How do you feel about this angle? Kind of like it, to be honest. Probably should have gave you guys that from the beginning. I feel like that one was just garbage. Yeah, this feels pretty good. But what I do now is this is probably where I do my most amount of resting. And it's because of strength training, like you need to give yourself ample amounts of rest time. So like usually it's about, I don't know, 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, something like that. And that's it. I give myself ample amounts of rest during strength training because it's just like sprinting. I don't know if anybody here is like a sprinter or cares to get faster. Being fast and lifting a lot of weight, a lot of it is neurological more than anything else. It's almost like you have to train your brain to be able to lift that amount of weight. That's why you see some skinny cats, like you'll look at them like, dude, there's no way that guy can deadlift over 400 pounds and they're deadlifting 750. And you're like, how the hell are they doing that? It's a neurological thing. That's why a lot of times like being super strong is for sure a portion of the equation if you want to be in great aesthetic shape. But it's strength, but then you have to use the strength correctly. You unlock the strength to then be able to deliver muscle growth sets. There's a difference between strength sets and muscle growing sets. Very, very different. And that's why I segment them both off, you know, this portion of the exercise is this, that portion of the exercise is that. My rest periods in between muscle growth sets is a lot less than it would be for strength, but I'm trying to train my body to move a lot more weight. And I'm thinking about, yeah, you know something, we'll bump up the weight. Feeling good. So what do we have? 45. All we're doing is adding 5 pounds. What's nice is, so a lot of this stuff, hi, bang, bang. A lot of this stuff, all I do is add a 5 on each side. All right, so 45, 75. Going in my math calculations. Yeah, well, 265. I should definitely be doing a lot more. My max I've ever done on incline, I don't max out very often, but I maxed out recently on close grip bench, 325 on close grip flat, and then I've done 300 on incline, just regular, not close grip. That'd be crazy. And then with dumbbells, usually I'm operating in sets with 125s in each hand because that's as high as my dumbbells go in my gym. I wish they would go higher because I feel like I probably, like, you naturally make more progress if you know that there's a weight to max out at. You know what I mean? And then once you're there, you're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I've already maxed this out. But that's part of progression. Progression's addicting for that reason. It's just a bunch of dopamine hits that, it hits really, really well. And you're so proud of yourself because you're like, man, I worked hard for this. I remember when I came in, I couldn't do this, that part too, it's like the best. It's like when people talk about if you were to ever be lucky enough to have, like an empire, like a legitimate one, not ones that people try to like flex. But we're talking about like legit, you're like a household name. A lot of times they talk about how they grew up and it's almost like depending on how low you started, the more of a rise there is, the more fulfillment you have. It's more fun because you look back and you're like, man, remember where I was? And it makes you realize the more you bleed for something, the more you have natural gratitude towards it, the more you actually want to work hard every single day because you know you bled for that moment. Anyways, game time. Let's get into the set. Oh, come on. I've been really into Arabic music, man. Very, very much. I mean, I always listen to Lebanese music, but lately it's been a lot. You guys are missing out, by the way. Some of you dogs that ain't Lebanese, I'm telling you right now, if you understood the soul behind the music that is played, dude, there ain't no soul like that, man. It almost reminds me of like old school songs that so much soul in them. That's why, dude, I don't care what language it is. Some people are like, dude, is he listening to French rap or something? Dog, I don't care. Only thing I understand is soul and vibrations, kind of. Not freaking wusa yoga people, though. I don't have a death sentence. That hurts. All right, so what I do from here is drop the weight. The reason why I was calculating is because, I'll sit back down. The reason I was calculating is because what I like to do from here is and this is something I've tested out recently, because I'm playing around with the strength portion and trying to figure out how strong I can actually get while maintaining mobility. If you're new on this page, we preach it all. Aesthetics, of course, I know you guys really like that, but I actually am not even into aesthetics that much. My body just happens to look decently aesthetic. And so I look at it as I want to be as strong as I possibly can be. Of course, I want aesthetics, but I also need mobility. I need access to certain ranges of motion, and that way I can unlock those new ranges with muscle that I've built strong, right? We work hard inside the gym. I want to unlock all of that hard work. And that means also being decently athletic, coordinated. All those things take precedence, you know what I mean? But I grew up playing a lot of sports. That was kind of my background and everything. But it's one of those things where I'm happy those are my fundamentals, because by the time I entered the gym, legitimately, I almost took the fundamentals of just being in sports and learning how to move your body, take inside the gym. They are different skills. They are different parts of your brain that kind of have to unlock, and just you have to go to a certain place for depending on what you're trying to do. But at the same time, it becomes autopilot at a certain point. You know what I mean? It becomes really, really autopilot. But yeah, so all I do right now, anyways, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought, but all it is I take 20% or 25% off of what I did. Now I'm going to try to hit a rep max. So I'm going to try to set basically a rep PR at that weight. So obviously with this, I had two reps. So pathetic, dude. So I'm going to kind of shut off some weight here. 25%, so we'll do like 220, something like that. A little 220 action. All right, we'll take that off and then add the 5. Yeah, I like that. That works. All right. And I do the same exact thing just so you have an idea as well. I'll take a break and I'm trying to hit a rep PR. So whatever this weight is, right? I'm not going to keep calculating. This isn't a freaking math channel, okay? But all I'm trying to do in my head is now set a rep PR. And why I do that is because it's going to build my endurance a little bit. You know what I mean? I like the idea, and endurance work is so boring. I like the idea of trying to make it decently fun and something I'm chasing. So like, you know, I want to get X amount of reps on this. You know what I mean? It makes you push a little bit harder than you normally would be accustomed to, which then takes us into the next portion of the lift itself, which is kind of sick. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling this video is going to be abnormally long, which is telling me maybe do I need to separate it out into series? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to give you guys a real glimpse. I'm definitely not operating as fast as I'm normally accustomed to. Probably should have put up the camera. Just been like, listen, this is going to be a silent ASMR of just me lifting weights and grunting. I'm usually pretty locked in for my lifts. It feels just, it's nice. It's like one of the moments a lot of my work is basically done behind, a computer, which sucks. Which is why I love lifting. You know what I mean? I love lifting. That's why it's almost funny. Like by the time I'm out like in the world, I just have a lot of good energy because most of the time it's just me and you just kind of have to be a self-starter, But that's even the same thing with the gym. It's no different, man. Like I don't like working out with people actually anymore because it feels like I'm almost trying to teach and give too much. Like if I'm going to work out with someone, I want to help them out, you know what I mean, while I'm lifting too. I don't want to just be like, hey, like, spot me on this. I know a lot of people do that. But I try to give, like, cool nuggets of stuff. And, like, this is why I do what I do. So, it's one of those things. But let's set the rep PR, huh? Every time. Every time. Are you kidding me? It feels weird today. Feels weird. Feels weird, man. Feels weird. Not happy with that whatsoever. Some days you just don't got it, huh? Whatever. Anyway, so that's usually how I wrap it up. Sometimes I'll drop it another 25% and do the same exact thing. Alright, screw it. I'm going to move the tripod. Drop another 25 pounds, huh? Drop another 20. Alright. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Max out my reps. Like I said, like obviously it's a little bit more difficult when you're doing barbell because I don't feel like dying underneath the bar today. You know what I'm saying? But same idea kind of applies. Literally just one of those things where it's just depending on how you want to set it up. Sometimes, and for most of, through my progress of getting here, I personally felt what I would do is like 4 to 6 reps for strength, 3 sets, drop set on the very, very last one, and then just go till failure. Boom. I never really measured anything besides my strength numbers. But I like the idea of measuring out a rep. And it's just because it forces you to have to instill more reps when you're so used to being dialed in for strength. I like the idea of going for rep PRs with heavier weights. You know what I mean? Like, heavier weights for yourself, and that's why I like this kind of measurement, like dropping it down 20-25%. Like I said, it's not something I'm accustomed to doing, but I do like it. It feels like it's firing a different part of my brain out, and I think that's why I like fitness so much in terms of working out and exerting energy, whether it's even through sports, which I always believe is superior for sure. Even then with weightlifting, it forces you to go to a place and touch certain parts of your brain you're not accustomed to. And I like that. That's what I like about training in all these different areas. That's why I don't believe in, an optimal way of training, because you're not training your brain. That's the beauty of training. Training is a tool. When people talk about, man, I want to be an entrepreneur, like they think that's the end goal, like that's the thing. And it's not. It's a tool to get to where you want to go. All these little things are tools. That's all they are. I genuinely look at food as a tool to then heal me up, recover myself. It helps my brain operate correctly. It nourishes my body correctly. I look at it as fuel. It's a legit tool to then just get me to where I need to go. And when you start thinking of these things as tools, you'll be surprised at how much further you push yourself. And then as a result, you'll be in vastly better shape than everybody else. That's the beauty of it, is because you're playing such a different game than everybody else. While everyone's trying to say in their head, like, this is the say-all, be-all, in your head, you're like, dude, this is just a tool for me to get to there. That's what I actually want. And that to me is everything. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point of this is people talk about being genuine or authentic or even, like charismatic and charm. No dude's ever, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this earlier today. And I was telling him, I said, think about, like, there's few compliments that guys receive that everybody, like every dude that walks the planet will smile at internally. And that's if someone were to call you charismatic or, oh, that dude, he's a charming dude. Like he's a very charismatic man. And it's because, it's funny, but I genuinely believe all that is authentic masculinity. People look at masculinity now like it's such a hot topic, but it's so commercialized, man. So commercialized, it's overly done, and it's all just fake bravado. It's all fake bravado. It's basically just trying to posture for themselves. And you can see right through it. Like, it's a bit pathetic to look at, especially when you're in a place where you're super comfortable inside your own skin. You don't try to really be any way for anybody else. You're just you. You're respectful, you're kind, you're a gentleman always. Boys, you know this, we're gentlemen. But that's everything. That's everything. And it's funny, someone was telling me that, like, I feel like you teach more authentic masculinity. I said, oh, it's actually, like, it was a really, really cool way. I've never heard of it, like, worded that way. But that's kind of what I'm after in my head, is like the masculine imperative is to take your dreams in your head and to make them into a reality. That is the ultimate masculine arc. That's the masculine path. These things that you have in your head, you make them come true. As a man, there is nothing like that journey ever. But let's get into the lift. This isn't a car talking video. Ooh. All right, let's get into the next section of the lift. I'm going to start into the muscle growth portion because that wraps up our strength. That's it for strength, by the way. Literally all I do. Literally all I do for strength. Pretty much something like that, 3 sets. You can package them up however you'd like. And then from there, it gets into the muscle growth portion of the lift itself. That to me is the way to do it. Sorry, I was seeing a little bit of doubles out here. So I'm going to start off with this. And so what I do, because when it comes to this portion of the lift, which is muscle growth, what I like to do is superset. And it's because I feel like I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. But the way I do it is Obviously, I started off with incline, but what I'm going to do is just hyper in, because no matter what, I just pick an incline movement. I either do, fun fact, 2 exercises I measure for strength on chest is weighted dips and incline pressing. That could be done with dumbbells, which I personally prefer, or barbell. And the reason I prefer dumbbells is because I'm typically working out alone, right? And it's a lot easier to really push the envelope. But I don't prefer one or the other because I think inherently one is better than the other. It just depends on your setup. Literally from here, I now get into the muscle growth portion. So what I do is I superset, like I said, but I'll do the same exact portion of the muscle. So the clavicular head, anatomy, baby. Come on, boys. But it's basically it's your upper chest. Your chest has 3 heads: clavicular, sternocostal, and the abdominal head. See, I had to look back and remember. See, dude, I'm a lot smarter than I make out to be. That doesn't mean I'm a genius. But real talk, that's actually how I do it. So what I'll do is I'll do a compound movement biasing that upper chest, and I'll follow it up with an isolation movement for the upper chest. So it's back to back. For this, I want to go as heavy as possible with the compound while getting quality reps, like focused in on each rep, really honing down, really making the rep, like really working, just getting inside the muscle. And you'll see that with this especially. And then you'll also see the back end of the superset, which is great. And I do 2 to 3 sets on these, and I do the same thing, as we're going to keep moving forward, with the chest. So this one, I'm not going to put on any music because I'm tired of going back, but you'll see, and I'll kind of talk through what I'm thinking about like while I'm hitting this rep. So let's get into the muscle growth. You don't have to do the death grip. I prefer it. It's just natural for me, man. I love this. So I'm locking in, trying to feel a stretch along my upper chest. Boom. Pop up. All right. And obviously, with this, probably should have gone down to flat, and that way I feel more fresh, but screw it, who gives a shit? That's what I like. I like purposely making it harder than it needs to be. A lot of people try to make everything as perfect and am I as fresh as I possibly can be. I like the idea of making myself work for it mentally. But you saw the cadence, everything is super, super, super locked in and tight. And I like doing it that way because I'm focusing on the muscles. Am I stretching? Every single one. I'm quality over quantity. Could I have gotten a few more if I decided to throw it up? For sure, but I don't want to. I want to lock into the muscle. I want to touch up exactly what I'm looking to touch up. That's going to be a bit far for you guys, but I need to make sure you guys can see this. So I followed up literally with this. Kid you not. Literally followed up just with this. Resistance bands, upper chest flies. Just like that. This is where we empty the clip. Those ones I want to focus on quality reps, and on this, take the muscle to complete failure. Game time. Baba. Barbecue chicken. I'm actually going to shut off the weight, and I'm going to show you guys something that you're going to love. You want to know why? Because I get creative. I get so creative, even in my mind, you know what I mean? Like I like making my brain work in different ways. And I thought about this as I was doing the resistance bands. So I'm going to show you guys something. You ready? So what I'm going to do, I should be able to see it. Those of you that, if you called that before I've actually done this, you're a gangster, man. Actually a gangster. But this is what I'm thinking. Do this, and then have this come out, boom, with a little bit of resistance band action. I just thought about that. I've done that on flat before, but there's no reason why I don't do it with the resistance bands that I have. Hopefully you guys could have heard me this whole time. I feel like I've been on video for an awful long time. But that's it. Literally, that's a great idea. We're going to rock it out. Let me get the music back on. I mean, this is abysmal. Yep. Roxanne, the police. I'm telling you guys, 50 Cent will be on next. It's just, I don't discriminate on music, man. You got soul? I'm coming. I'm coming. You don't have to put on the red light. All right. This is a bit weirder than I expected. Ooh. I didn't do that right. I'm an idiot. Dumbass. Swear to God, so dumb. Now I gotta take a break. Unbelievable. I should have just finished out the set. See, that's what happens when you get creative. It ain't pretty. You know what I mean? It ain't a pretty process, but now I know. Now I know obviously this thing has to be on under. I was wondering, like, it doesn't even feel that much more difficult. And I was trying to lock into the muscle, and I was like, that just feels like the band's just kind of there. It's not really doing much. And that makes sense because it wasn't doing anything. I can't imagine watching it from your guys' perspective either. Like, what is this bozo doing? What is this moron actually doing? Well, evidently not much. So, there you have it. Okay. This is going to be a pathetic set. We kind of cut it short, but who cares? Okay. Roxanne, put on the red light. All right. Oh, all right, we'll do one more set, considering the last one was just absolute dog shit. Even the first set was dog shit, but whatever, you know what I mean. Do I feel pumpy? For sure. Is the pump cover coming off right now? Not yet. Not yet. We still have a couple more portions of the lift after this. And then it's just bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? I mean, usually by now I definitely would just be kind of sizzling through, but the point is you're seeing everything that's happening. You can just condense the time frame. You get what I mean? So that's my job to figure out, live and learn. Clearly the band was a pretty dumb idea, I think, on incline, especially at the weight it was. So we'll see. I'll probably drop the weight. You want to know something? I'll do a set like this. This is how you bring it all full circle, because right now all I'm thinking about is how do I save the shit performance I just put on. So you guys are actually seeing a lot of tools in the arsenal. So what I could do on this is go a little bit wider grip, right, on the incline. Go wider grip on them, lock into the muscle, take it to as close to failure as possible. This one's obviously tough to take to complete failure because we're on a barbell, we have no spotter. Usually, I mean, listen, if you're new here, you should go back through my old videos. I fail a ton, like on stuff like this. I just genuinely don't want to fail right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show you guys exactly what I'm doing, and Like I want to give you guys sauce. You know, I want to give you guys some real sauce here. And with the basement, I can show you guys a full chest day without it being like, this is usually how it looks, but without the mistakes. Is how I describe it. But it's because it's forcing me, like when I'm doing these videos, it makes me think in different ways too. And it's like, oh dude, why wouldn't I do the band and go like this? But now I know it's probably a bit heavy, especially with the way I want to move the weight. So we'll drop the weight actually. No, I already made that clear. Schizo. All right. Ooh. So this one, we're just going to go reg. We're just going to go regular. Really lock into the muscle. Let's get some quality reps. Should definitely go heavier, but forget it. Go wider grip. Touch the clavicle. Hope. I'm going to drop the weight. 25 pound. Throw that sucker. Dude, watch out for your feet. Relax. Fight or flight, baby. Honestly, I deserve to stub my toe. Maybe it'll knock some sense into me. Alright. Drop set. Not making that mistake. I will never make it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me twice. You're not going to fool me again. Name that president. Hold on. All right, finish up with flies. Ah! 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 That's not a good sign. You see that? It's red. It's red. What the hell, dude? That doesn't even make sense. If I have to cut this chest day short, it's not my fault. Oh, that is. I should have charged it up. I mean, who knew that full juice wouldn't be enough to handle a 45-minute video? Get the hell out of here, man. All right, next set. All right, so bad news is we ran out of the battery on the mic. I'm not rocking without the mic. This thing was stuck at customs for God knows how long. What I'm gonna do instead is I'll show you guys basically the exercise that'll take you through the rest of it, but you have an idea of how the reps actually look and stuff. I'm gonna show you the next two supersets that I'm gonna do each for 2 to 3 sets, okay? And I'll let you know after I'm done, but I'll take you through and that way you have it. So you actually haven't missed anything, just to be very, very clear. But I'm gonna show you, well, that's what happens. That's what happens in the dungeon. Boom. All right, so let's do this. So I'm gonna hit some flat bench, mainly because the cambered bar for flat bench is just, it's a different ball game, man. Absolutely, it's a different ball game. And that way we can get some real nice chest contractions in this game. Ready, Bob? Now it is absolutely game time. Yep, I like that. You know what, boys? What are we doing? Time to take off the pump cover. Game time. Oh, that's what's been missing. That's why I like the bands. I like twisting it like that because sometimes it gets too slidey. We good? Yeah. So, one thing I want to explain before we move on to the next exercise. I'm going to do probably one more set of that with a drop set, the same one as I did with the band. I'll probably do that. But I want to understand the reason why we supersetted that. Remember I was talking about clavicular heads earlier and sternocostal heads and abdominal heads? So we started with the clavicular and then we moved down to sternocostal, right? Which is just the mid part of the chest. I'm a little bit out of breath. Bear with me. But it's the middle part of the chest. Super, super meaty. So with that, obviously, the best way of doing it is by figuring out how the muscle fibers run. With that one specifically, it's best activated through basically a horizontal position where you're pressing. Just like that. I do the same thing with the isolation exercise, right? So I took a compound movement, went heavy, but with quality reps. As heavy for me as I possibly can go while maintaining quality reps. It would work the same exact way with you. And you take that isolation exercise and you go to a very dark place. That's exactly what you do. And you really want to take it to as far into failure as possible. That's it. You want to touch till you can barely budge the weight. Like those bands aren't that heavy. But when you position it this way, followed by an exercise like this, a really big needle mover, what do you think happens? It's the same idea. We're just facilitating towards that failure point just a little bit more efficiently. And the thing is you have a higher margin for error, which means you don't even have to come in that perfect and it's still going to work for you. So that is exactly what I'm doing. I'll be doing it for the next 2 sets. I just don't want this thing to die out on me. And that way you guys have the video. As promised. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're trying to do here. So anyways, we're going to move into the last portion of the chest, which is the lower chest. Now I'm going to show you guys an exercise that I know you aren't doing. It's an exercise you are doing, but not this variation. I'll say that much. All right. So anyways, it's game time. All right. So I know I told you guys I was going to show you a dip variation. Well, I didn't say it was going to be a dip variation, but I was going to show you guys a cool variation you haven't seen before, but I'd rather keep that for a separate video. That way I can really hone in on it because it's a different type of movement. But I'm going to show you guys, just let's keep it consistent. This is a really heavy bang for your buck, basic in terms of like exercise selection, all very straightforward stuff. And that's kind of what I want to keep on with. So what I do personally is I'm going to head off for dips right now. And that's because I told you we have the last head, which is the abdominal head of the chest. But the way I like to do it is dips are a little bit easy for me. So I take this weight, you can see right here, right? And I just strap it in between my legs, literally just like this. And now what I'm going to do, and I'll show you guys the cadence all the way through. Game time. Yep. Hoop. Sink deep. Feel stretch. Can't do it, homie. Can't. Sink. Feel the stretch. Boom. Once you find it, start rocking. Fight. Drop the weight. Go right into body weight. Oh, 50, dude. 50 gets you going, bro. He's just like invigorates you. You just want to take over the world, but you're just really hitting weighted chest dips. So anyways, superset time. Like I told you guys, what I do is I'll pick a compound movement followed by more of an isolation. This next one, I call it an isolation because I just find it easier than this variation. And I'd rather focus my efforts on this and really spend out the energy clip. And on the back end is one of my favorite push-up variations that I've found that I've been absolutely spamming. And the results have been beautiful. I go right into these. You can do a push-up variation with your hands elevated, but I prefer doing it with a plate. Forces you to stabilize hand strength like Bruce Lee. Notice the cadence. I'm syncing on every single rep. And now I'm hitting partials. Game time. Oh. There you have it, boys. There you have it. I did 3 sets on those. I did 4 sets on the flat bench. I got a little ahead of myself. And then you guys already saw the entire upper chest being delivered from strength to muscle growth. This is how I put it together. Sometimes I'll do, something like if I wanted to do a couple more exercises, I'd probably do something like a reverse grip bench, superset with pullovers, because I'm working on some mobility, work strength, because my chest is already pretty taxed. And so I'll think of things where it's like, oh, it's okay if I go lighter on these. I'm still always going to deliver intensity, because if I'm going to do something, you deliver intensity. That's how we grow. It's how we get stronger. Don't let that one go. But once you start doing it that way, that's all I'd probably finish up with is some pullovers and that. And then obviously touch-up work like abs and such. But I wanted to give you guys a full video in terms of just the chest. And just like, if you want to grow it, that is more than enough. I do a lot of extra stuff because I obviously have more goals than just beyond muscle growth and strength. But in terms of having a base, this has always been my base. And that's where it's like I take my base, I lock it down, and then I add on top of it. I don't stop doing the work that's been working, but now I have other stuff to add on to it. Usually, the strength portion of my lift takes me, like 10, 15 minutes, let's say. I'm giving it time too. About 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, easy 10, 15. And then usually each superset probably takes me around 10 to 12 minutes. So let's say 12, so 36, 15, 51. And I usually finish up maybe like I'll do like, a superset of something for just a couple sets. And then I'll hit abs. So usually my workouts, like if there's not anyone at the gym that I'm at, and I'm able just to kind of work out like this, in and out, hour 10, doing everything I would need to do. And then I come back down, I dangle the donut at night, as some of you guys may know. But that workout's usually about 30 minutes, and I work on very, very specific stuff. Whether that's, grip strength, or, for example, let's say I wasn't happy with the way I hit my lower chest. I would do some lower chest work at night. It's almost just like filling in the gaps on the things that I feel like I missed on my earlier training session, or things that I need to bring up to speed. I look at it as extra volume. Right? With extra volume, you have a lot more than you're able to do. You don't have to be as perfect, which is great. But the more you want to do, the more you actually still have to be perfect. And there's also a thing called recovery, unfortunately. Recovery's so annoying, man. It really is. But it's It's a part of the game. And matter of fact, just learning how to push through mentally sometimes is, like I said in the very, very beginning of this video, everything's a tool. Everything is a tool to get you to exactly where you want to be. You get what I mean? When you look at everything like a tool, it makes it that much easier for you to just literally lap everybody else, because you're going for something so much further than a six-pack and big muscles. You'll accidentally arrive at those things. You know what I mean? Like you do. You accidentally get the things that you want to on the way of the thing that's way, way bigger that means more to you. Let's be honest. Why do you want big muscles? Why do you want all this stuff? You feel a certain way about yourself. You're working hard and you're earning your own self-approval. That's it, man. That's what it's all about. It's like you are actually in your head, like you have a vision, like we talked about earlier, and you're making it into a reality. That is the thing that sets your heart on fire, right? But anyways, I hope you guys appreciate this video. This is very, very unique and weird to me. It almost felt like it was like a brand new one, and I was planning on doing the entire thing with every single set, but the mic's just been causing problems. But it is what it is. Regardless, you guys got to see a full chest day. If you guys run this one, I guarantee if you do this on your next chest day, you're going to be like, how? Why is my chest so big? Why is it feeling diesel? I'll be honest with you, my central nervous system's pretty fried right now. Those partials absolutely zipped me out. Like I said, I did 3 sets on the dip one, the dip superset with the push-ups. I did 4 sets with this. I also did the banded thing. All it is, and it's actually one thing I forgot to explain to you guys with the band, you actually want to take advantage of dynamic reps, which means like it's about moving the weight pretty fast. So before we head off, the way you want to have it is you actually don't even want to touch your chest. You want to stop right here and explode, 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 just like that. Literally, just like that. You want to take advantage of it. So I did that on the back two sets. First 2 sets, I just did heavy, regular, flat benching. And then I supersetted with, as you guys saw, banded cable flies, just like that. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I know it was a really, really long one, but I really hope you appreciated it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, you're not hurting my feelings saying, honestly, bro, stick to the normal ones. You know what I mean? Where it's just like kind of explaining something. If you guys like this, we'll keep running it. We'll try it out. Obviously, I'll be making sure that this thing is not red. I don't know how else to do that. This thing was on full juice before I came down here. So regardless, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all very much. I actually had a blast doing this. Now in my head, it's like I was focusing on the reps. I was trying to show out for you guys. Let's be real. But anyways, I love y'all. Uncle Rommy out. Peace.